Once in the history of humankind, hunger and poverty assumed ridiculous dimension that the global community initiated the Millennium Development Goals, MDGs, with the aim of reducing by 50% poverty and hunger by 2015 across the world. The global implementation ended in December 2015 and has since been succeeded by Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. According to final global reports, MDGs was the most successful anti-poverty initiative in history, having reduced by over 50% the number of extremely poor people. The implementation of MDGs started in Anambra State in 2007. Professor Stella Okonna, a former Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budgets, who also chaired the MDGs Implementation Committee under Governor Peter Obi's administration, submitted that the then government implemented MDGs with uncommon commitments.
Because it was Peter Obi's vision, he put in a lot of money. The church and the state teamed up in a way that was really formidable. Every single secondary school, they received computers, buses, libraries. They began to take its position in WAEC and NECO. So we constructed new classroom blocks. We intervened in many church-owned hospitals. This disbursed billions of naira.
360 VIP toilets and 120 solar-powered boreholes were provided in the 21 local government areas of the state in 2007 alone. 2008 saw the construction and equipping of 10 skills acquisition centers, drilling of 66 solar-powered boreholes, supply of 21 ambulance buses to all local government areas, provision of water buses to riverine areas of Anambra East, Anambra West, Oka North and Onitsha North, as well as supply of medical equipment and drugs to 138 primary health centers and 15 general hospitals across the state. In 2009, 42 primary health care centers were rehabilitated, 11 skills acquisition centers constructed, medical equipment were supplied to 105 PHCs, while small town water schemes were executed in Oka South, Njikoka, Dunokofia, Nnewi South, Aniocha and Oyi local government areas. In 2012, 2,250 persons from 25 communities of Aniocha, Anambra West, Ihiala, Obaru, and Orumba South local government areas benefited from the MDG's conditional cash transfer. In February 2014, 10 billion naira was released for rehabilitation of public and mission schools and for accelerated execution of various projects, all in a bid to meet the MDGs. Investigations across selected communities indicated that Ojoko Memorial Primary School, Northfair, had it good with the provisions of VIP toilets and a block of classrooms. The water borehole provided at the community secondary school, Mwezeanam, has been meeting the water needs of the school as attested to by one of the vice principals, Mr. Dominic Okafor.
MDG programs has really alleviated a lot of plights of our people, especially potable water. You have our VIP toilet, courtesy of the MDG, and some toilet infections that we used to experience in the past. We no longer see them.
All the primary and secondary schools visited in Anaku, Omo, Ibaku, in Ayamelum local government area had their classroom blocks renovated, with some provided with VIP toilets. In the area of healthcare delivery, the government of Governor Peter Obi invested billions of naira, which facilitated the accreditation of the State University Teaching Hospital, Amakwaka. However, residents described MDGs as a mixed blessing in Anambra State. The permanent secretary in the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget, Mr. Andrew Mobi, who recently retired from service, argued that MDGs changed the face of Anambra State in many respects.
MDG report has been produced, and incidentally, in the southeast, Anambra State is number one.
Most residents interviewed, including Dr. Alfred Nkwanta, PG Isuaniocha, also gave the MDGs a pass mark, especially in the health and education sectors.
The built borehole is still working till today in the health center. Provided generator, fridge, keke. We had one block only in Otoko Primary School. They built 2 more blocks. Then secondary school innovated. MDG is a blessing.
A civil society activist, Sir Mike Opia, agreed that MDG succeeded in Anambra State.
The previous government adopted this direct cash disbursement to schools. Go to our public schools, you see structures. We, the civil societies in Anambra, say that the carrying capacity of our educational system at that level has been improved.
However, while the global reports indicate success in reducing by half the proportion of people who lack access to improved sources of water, it was the submission of residents that MDG's implementation in the water sector in Anambra State was not as impressive as in other sectors. Radio Nigeria discovered that some of the water projects provided under the MDGs are not functioning, while a few were either reactivated by the government or benefiting institutions and communities. Good examples are the water schemes at Ifitio Okuzo, Anako, Amici, Ozubulu, to mention just a few. Obi Naidoche and Chukuma Maduka reside at Ifitio Okuzo, Junukofia local government area.
It functioned for when I newly arrived to this town, that was 2012. But since then, the place is no more functioning. It has been a long time, up to 2 years now. We haven't gotten any water from there.
One of the residents of Ebema Ozubulu, simply called Ogadozie, voiced out his disappointment in the government over the water scheme in the community.
There's no water there from that day. Minister from Abuja came here.
You even draw the pipe to your own house?
But it doesn't work now. I hate everything here. This is a normal thing with the government projects.
Some of the boreholes in Umbaku and Amici are not working due to vandalization or theft of sumo by unidentified persons. Honorable Chijioke Oliver is a resident of Umbaku.
They couldn't get water in that borehole. Then during the inauguration, they went and buy water and put inside the tank. After 2 or 3 weeks, they couldn't get water again. Up to this moment, it has never functioned. For the vandalization, we blame both the government and the community. The community is supposed to safeguard project that government installed in the community. As well, government is supposed to provide enough security.
There are other water schemes yet to be completed, such as the one cited in Ajali, Orumba North local government area, while some were recently inaugurated by Governor Willie Obiano in Hihiala, Ibariam, Abatete, Nanka, Umunze, among other communities. Commenting on the problem with the water segment of MDGs implementation, Professor Stella Okunna said it wasn't a total failure.
Most of those boreholes that didn't work were the solar ones. 1 or 2 of them we visited. Just a fuse could blow and they will abandon the whole thing. They were waiting for government. Some medium level water scheme. When they were commissioned, they worked and they began reticulation.
The retired permanent secretary, Mr. Umobi, also shed light on the problem with the water sector.
You need to do a hydrological survey of Anambra State to know where you will hit water. And again, fraudulent contractors install tanks. The day the thing will be inspected, they pour water to the tanks. But some of them were caught anyway.
The gains of MDGs across the state are fast being eroded as some of the projects are going bad due to alleged poor execution, lack of maintenance culture, as well as failure to sustain certain initiatives such as supply of drugs to primary health centers. Such was the case with the solar panel installed at one of the primary healthcare centers in Upo, which the head, Mrs. Florence Osakwe, said worked for only 2 months. Corruption and connivance were reasons some residents alleged led to failure. A former member of the State House of Assembly, Mr. Val Ayika, shared experiences with MDGs during oversight visits.
When we visited somewhere like Orumba, we saw a borehole project believed to have been an MDG project, but turned out to be a private water borehole. A transformer put by the town union was claimed to be an MDG thing. A 10 classroom or 8 classroom block in Oka here had no pillars.
The former chairman of the MDGs Implementation Committee, Professor Okunna, denied allegation of corruption among government officials under her supervision.
What we did was above board. I don't see where the fraud will have come in for the small scale things. And for the big ones, in all honesty, I don't believe and I will not believe.
In an interview, an official in the MDG's office, Mr. John Paul Onyeki-Neso, denied the allegation that most of the MDG's projects in their communities, especially water projects, were not functioning even at the time of inauguration.
Quote me anywhere, there has never been any project constructed and never worked at the point of commissioning or after commissioning. A contractor will complete a project, will hold its retention after 6 months, 1 year before payment. The project will be functioning efficiently. Once you hand over the project, it will function for some time now. The project is being mismanaged by the community.
Mr. Onyeki-Neso also disclosed that the Anambra State government is still waiting for the federal government to contribute its counterpart fund for the implementation of MDG's projects for 2014 and 2015, adding that the lessons from MDGs would help the state in executing the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, whenever the federal government flags off the implementation. Investigation further revealed that the present administration under Chief Willie Obiano is now taking steps to correct the inadequacies in the previous implementation, particularly in the water sector. Even with the unanimous submission that MDGs transformed the state positively, it is far from Uhuru with dilapidated school structures, unsecured premises, and inadequate manpower in schools. Other prevailing challenges include out-of-stock syndrome at PHCs, lack of potable water, open defecation, particularly in rural communities, failure to own public projects, and above all, lack of maintenance culture. Citizens expressed the hope that current administration of Dr. Willie Obiano and those after him would adopt better strategies for implementing development programs. They also advocated intensive enlightenment campaign and advocacy on the compelling need for people across communities to take ownership of public facilities in their areas. The Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) is expected to guide policy and funding for the next 15 years to end poverty everywhere, permanently, including Anambra State. In Awka, Alfred Ajayi reporting for Radio Nigeria.